Hello everybody, welcome back to the Traxion YouTube channel. Welcome to week 10 of our fixed Ferrari track guide series here on iRacing. Now week 10 brings us to the fabulous Hungaroring, a circuit where it's all about weight on the front tyres and corner exit. Watch on and you'll know what I mean. So if you followed my track guides before, you'll know that they are not a place for hot laps. It's a slow, methodical approach to learn the circuit where we talk about my braking markers, my reference points and the little quirks that each circuit has. As usual, I'll show you the flying lap in full, then we'll jump in the car, do a few laps and show you those braking markers and reference points in action. Just be advised that the flying lap that you're about to see was done on lap 5 of a run, so the tyres were well worn. I did a lap after that on fresh tyres and shaved a second off. So the lap that you're going to see is a true representation of a real lap round here on worn tyres. So let's get on track. So here we are then on the main straight here at the Hungaroring. So as usual, we've set the sim time to match the official series. So it's the 1st of April 2022 and the time in the sim is 1:25 p.m. Track temperature right now 41 degrees, a little bit warmer than it was in the flying lap that you just saw. Brake bias this week we've gone for 53.3. There's lots of places here where we need to keep the weight over the front tyres. I'll explain that as we go around. So 53.3 works well for me. We're also using the iRacing sprint setup, which is what is used in the official series. So, run down to turn number 1. We're going to be in 5th gear. And we're going to be braking. You can see there's a white line across the road surface. There's nothing in between the 300 and the 100 board. But there's a small mark in front of a white line you can see. We'll get a little bit closer until it comes into view. There, you can just see it faintly just above the instrument cluster there now. That's what I use as my braking marker for turn number 1, just before there. If you get to the line, you've probably braked a little bit too late. Now, turn 1 always makes you think you can go into it quicker than you can, but as you can see by the track map, it opens up on exit, so it's a really late apex. So we want to be braking all the way down into 2nd gear. You can use 1st, but I find 2nd gear is a little bit smoother, a little bit more controllable. So we're apexing this one really late, being really patient. And when we see the Pirelli signs, we can pretty much get on the gas and we can use a bit of this AstroTurf, not too much, or you will get an off track. And then the run down to turn number 2. Now this is one of the the part of the circuit where the higher brake bias or the higher brake balance number helps. It's really important here going into turn number 2 that we get the car nice and settled before we get to the turn, because the car tends to skip on here, and if you get off the inside, off the rubbered section of track, and it's off camber, you get pushed wide. It's awful. So it's really important to get the car nice and settled and hold a tight line all the way around here. So this is second gear, so we're braking just at the start of the curb on the right hand side. We're aiming in early towards the apex, nice and gentle, keep a little bit of brake on just to get the car over to the left hand side nice and tight, and when you get to about here, then we can start to accelerate. And this is all flat out now. Second gear, third gear, up to fourth gear. You can use a bit of this AstroTurf as well on exit. The run up to turn number 4. Now the entry point here is blind, so you've got to turn before you actually see it. You can hold fourth gear here if you wish, or shift up to fifth, it doesn't really matter. And we're going to be placing our right tyres just on the curb, and as we do that, we're going to be shifting down into third gear, and we're going to start the turn-in phase of the corner, and we want to be skipping over this curb on the inside. We want to be cutting this much. A little lift of the throttle just to make sure that the car doesn't lose control. The car will run out wide, but then we want the car right over to the left-hand side to open up turn number 5. Braking marker here, the end of the green and blue board on the left-hand side. You can use that as your braking marker. We're going to be going down into second gear, being really patient here, really patient, and then accelerate. Don't be afraid to use some of this on exit. Hungaroring's all about corner exit. Now, the tricky chicane, we move the car over to the left-hand side on the curb. That's going to be our braking marker as soon as we get to the curb, and we're going to be using second gear. We're not going down to first. We're just going to be going down into second gear, turning in quite late, cutting a little bit of this one, and not too much of this one, because you will get an off track. Here, you can hold second gear if you wish. You can. This is another corner where it eggs you on. It makes you think you can go quicker than you actually can. You can't, because we need the car on the left hand side when we've gone round this left turn. So second gear, we're going to cut this a little bit. Be nice and gentle, then on the brakes to open up this turn here. So be nice and gentle, then get on the accelerator. You can use quite a bit of this on exit. This is flat out. Move over to the right to open up the left. Use third, fourth gear there, doesn't really matter. But as soon as we get to the curb on the left, we're going to be in third gear, a little bit of brake, turn towards the apex, but then get on the gas. You can get on the gas here much earlier than you think you can. In the run down to turn number 12, downhill, heavy braking area. It's going to be the start of the curb. We're going to be braking down into second gear. We're going to cut a bit of this curb on the inside, get on the gas, use a little bit of this AstroTurf on exit, move the car over to the right. Now you can use this Heusinkveld sign, or there's the Marshall's post on the right hand side there. You can use either or, depending on what your graphic settings are, but you want the car over to the right hand side, brake in there. Again, we want the car nice and settled. We want all the weight over the front tyres, nice tight line all the way around here, then get on the gas. Use a little bit of this pit road on exit, then brake at the Marshall post there, turn in, and then we want to apex when the concrete, there's the concrete on the right, that's our apex point. Then accelerate, and don't be shy, use a bit of this on exit, you won't get an off track. So speed up a little bit now. So turn number 1, we're going to be braking, looking at that faint white mark on the road surface before the lines. There it is, all the way down into second gear. Be nice and patient. Look for the Pirelli signs. There they are. Use a bit of this on exit. Up to third gear. Braking at the start of the curb on the right. We want the car nice and settled. Nice and settled. Pull this inside line nice and tight. Get on the gas fully there, or cold tyres still. Use a bit of this on exit. And leave it in fourth here if you wish. You want your right tyres on the curb. And as we do brake, put this curb nice and gentle. Then at the end of the green and blue boards on the left, we're going to be braking there. So accelerate, use a bit of this on exit. It's fine. Brake at the start of the curb. Put a bit of this one. Don't cut much of this second one though, because you'll get an off track. We'll leave it in second here. Keep hold of the brake, get the car over to the left hand side. Be nice and patient here. And get on the gas. There's quite a bit of this. Up to third. Open up this left. Up to fourth. Brake at the start of the curb, down at third. Get on the gas earlier than you think there. And heavy braking there, start of the curb, we're going to be braking. Down into second gear. Then accelerate through it. Move the car over to the right, looking at the marshal's post. There it is. If that shadow remains, you can just use the shadow across the track. There's your braking marker. Don't bank on that still being there. Again, marshal's post on the left. A little bit of trail brake. There's the apex where the concrete is. We can get the accelerator right out wide. No off track. Right, we'll try and pick up the pace for one more lap. So we're looking for that faint white mark on the road surface. Comes into view very, very late. There it is. Second gear. Be patient, then accelerate through. Move the car over to the right, start the curb. Get on the brakes early, get the car settled nice and early. So we want to hold this inside line nice and tight. If you don't, you get pushed wide. And there's no grip, literally no grip. You lose half a second there quite easily. Move the car over to the right, get your right tyres on the curb. And then downshift to third, cut a bit of this on the entry. At the end of the green and blue board there, braking. Nice and patient. Then accelerate. All the way out wide. Start the curb, we're going to be braking. Down to second gear, we're going to cut this. Not so much of that one. Leave it in second gear. Again, trail brake all the way around. Because we need the car right over to the left to open up this right. And then this is where you can use quite a bit of that AstroTurf there. Start the curb, we're going to be braking there. Get on the gas nice and early, earlier than you think there. Start at the curb again. Braking down 2 gears, down to second gear. And accelerate through. Use a bit of that on exit. There's the shadow. If that remains there, we can use that. But nice and tight round here. Nice and tight. Then use a bit of pit road on exit. Arrow over to the left. Use the Marshall post as your reference point. Wait for the concrete. There it is. That's our apex there. So we can get on the gas. And there we go. See how much we use there? We didn't get off track. That's a steady lap. A 145 flat. Lots more time in the car there. That was quite nice and steady, and obviously I'm talking the way around it. Turn 1 is a bit of a pain here. There's not really much in the way of braking markers on the way into turn number 1, and it's so easy just to push a little bit too hard and you'll get an off track on exit. Right, let's talk about pit entry, pit exit, and where I think you can get an overtake done here at the Hungaroring. So pit entry here at the Hungaroring isn't too bad at all really. There's just a really long right hand turn where you've got to be really careful and really patient. So there's the last turn in front of us there. So the pit entry is just before there. Get your car in where the dotted line is. We're going to be in second gear. And we're just going to hold this all the way around. There's no speed limit yet. Try and get around here as quick as you can. And then accelerate down, leave it in second gear. And we're going to be braking round about here. To get in the pits, to get the pit limiter on. Nothing really too dramatic about it. It's just that long right turn. It kind of lulls you in and makes you want to go around there quicker than you probably can. Right, let's look at that on a flying lap. Right, so we'll simulate pit entry now. Normal flying lap. Pit lane on the right hand side as we go around here. There's no speed limit yet. Nice and easy around this right turn. Pit limits are on about now. 50 km speed limit here at the Hungaroring, so quite slow. So let's have a look at pit exit. Nothing too dramatic here. All you need to worry about is your braking marker to make sure you make turn number 1. There's the green cone. We're going to release the pit limiter. And there's a line across the circuit. You can see it just there. So in between there and the blue cone is where we want to be braking for turn number 1. You're going to be using first gear because it's really tight. Just keep an eye on your relative here, because obviously when we exit pit road, everybody's going to be coming around here on a flying lap. So if you've had to come in to serve a penalty or to get a fast repair, just make sure you keep an eye on your relative. Right, where can we overtake here at the Hungaroring? So, overtaking at the Hungaroring, well, as we saw with the Formula 1 race here a few weeks ago, it's notoriously difficult, and it really is. There's not many places here where you can make an overtake. There's only one place that I've identified where I could actually set an overtake up and do it safely. Apart from the usual places at the end of a long straight, like here going into turn number 1, potentially. So down the inside into turn number 1, that's always a move that can be done. But if you can hold the outside line around turn number 1, if the guy defends, you might need to take an off track to get it done. But then that means that you'll get the job done into turn number 2. If you've got this inside line here, but again, you need to remain disciplined and make sure your car is nice and tight. Then if you've got the inside line here, there's no way back for him. The rest of the lap, unfortunately, is a bit of a procession. There's nothing going to get done unless somebody makes a mistake. And they're the opportunistic overtakes that we're always looking for. But you're never going to get an overtake set up. Turn 1 is probably the biggest overtaking place. Nothing going to be done around here, around the chicane, unless, obviously, like I mentioned, somebody makes a mistake. But the place I'm more thinking of getting an overtake done and setting one up is going into turn number 13. Now, you're going to set it up going into turn number 12, or exiting turn number 12. You're going to get a good run out here. He's going to defend, and we're going to go around the outside. We'll brake a little bit later, down to first gear, and we're going to hold the outside line here. And again, very similar to turn 1, turn 2, if you've got the inside line here, he's not going to get it done. The rest of the lap, I'm sad to say, is a procession. So there's the only two places, and that last one in particular is where I would go for an overtake. So it's exiting turn 1 into turn number 2 and exiting turn number 12 into turn number 13. So that's week 10 done here at the Hungaroring. Please let me know down below in the comments how you get on. What were your times before the guide? What were your times after? Did I help? Did I cover everything that you wanted to be covered in a track guide? So next week for week 11, we go to Watkins Glen. I cannot wait. As always, thanks for watching. Good luck this week. Keep it pinned.